So the second speaker for our panel is Sheikh Dr. Mohamed Moussa, who is a professor of Islamic Studies and the Imam of the North Hudson Islamic Education Center, known for his work in fiqh, Quranic studies, and community religious leadership. So please join me in welcoming Sheikh Mohamed Moussa.
السلام عليكم. أدعو الله سبحانه وتعالى بحق هذا الاجتماع أن يفرج عن أهلنا في غزة، وأن ينزل الأمن والأمان على أهلنا في السودان، وأن يصلح ما بين أهلنا في أفغانستان وباكستان، وأن يصلح المسلمين جميعا وجاليتنا هنا إن شاء الله. الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه ومن والاه. I would like first to forgive me with my English. يعني. You will hear a very special English with the Egyptian accent. Be patient inshallah, and I'll try my best because I don't want to waste your time with the translation. I wanted to start with a story happened to me 27 years ago. The first years for me in the United States was in Brooklyn, New York City. And I had a meeting with the Catholic Bishop of Brooklyn at that time. But for someone who just came from Middle East, from Egypt. And you know, Egypt, we have a number of masajid like unaccountable. It was a stranger for me to see churches closed, shut down. And I asked him, why? He said, the first people who migrated from Latin America, they was very religious. They practiced their religion. And they started building masajid and opening. But the second, third, fourth generation, they said very heavy for him to take the responsibility of these churches. So they left it. And this is what you see. But he said, as very important advice to me at that time, he said, you are not exceptional from this role. Be careful, because you are like now, like the first generation, and you buy a lot of masajid. Be careful about your second, third, fourth generation. Maybe they will leave it or sell it or will be closed. Inshallah, this has not happened. But we should, as Sheikhna Dhul Faqqar said, we should learn from others, because they have experience in that. For that, since that time, I always think about how we can protect our institution, how we can protect our masajid, our schools. The only way, the Waqf. Waqf is the only way. So without Waqf, we cannot preserve our masajid and our schools. We cannot. With the seasonal donation, this is not a good way to protect our institutions. And a lot of money we already spent to buy this masajid and the schools. For that reason, I see Waqf, it's not kind of act of worship like charity only. I see it an Arabic expression or sentence, تحدي وجودي. تحدي وجودي. يعني existential challenge. يعني maybe we are be in exist or not. It's not joke. It's very important. And this is, if we go to Sharia, I can put it in the first and the highest level of maqasid. Maqasid al-Sharia. The necessity of maqasid. This is the highest level. Because It means how we can preserve our religion for the second generation and third generation. You know, the necessity of maqasid, the levels of maqasid. The highest one, religion and nafs. This the five, as most of you know it. Yani. So now we should look to the waqf not as the charity or donation. I will get ajr, inshallah, in akhirah. Inshallah, it will take ajr in akhirah, but we'll look at more than this. More than this. Let's talk about our existence or not. This is the very simple, yani. Very simple. Yani because not good intention and يعني more dua can protect our religion or our institutions. For that reason, we see these two challenges. The first one, how we can preserve our religion to pass our faith to our next generations. The second one, how we can have our place in the American society. These two challenges. Both challenges, they need waqf. Without waqf, we cannot do it. Because the first one, preserve our religion to pass it to the second and third and fourth generation, inshallah, we need to take care of our institutions. Who can do that? I think the first, schools, second, the masajid. I'm an imam, of course I should say masajid first, but I say it is schools first. Schools has to be first. Schools first, because this is where our kids will grow up and learn and take their education. And you know what happened, what's happening in the public school. My dream, one day, inshallah, will come, 100% of our kids, they have chance or place in our Islamic schools. That's my dream. We have already example, like if you go to Jewish community, I think, I don't know, but I think, I didn't read about the rate, but I think more than 90% of their kids in their own schools, not in public school. It's few of you see Jewish people in public school. Because of waqf, they have endowment. So now we need this dream for this school. So we should understand we cannot do it without waqf, because we have a big puzzle about the tuition method. If with this tuition we have now, our schools cannot attract a qualified teachers, or even for a special need or for social worker or anything. We don't have. Our schools is very, I don't want to say weak schools, but an average is not that qualified because the tuition and the financial support. If they raise the tuition, we have another problem. The parents, they can afford the tuition, so they will send their kids to public school. So we want to know that. So the only way, when we build the school, to make sure each single school has its own waqf. We should do that, in the future, so we can keep our schools, inshallah. And we should learn from like this, big model for us, like Catholic schools. If you go to the statistics of the closure of the Catholic schools, even our schools in our hand now is not guaranteed to continue with us. Can be shut down, out of business or anything, because the shortage of fund. There is more than in last 3 years. I go to the statistic like last 3 years or 4 years. You talk about almost close to 400 schools. They already shut down because of the shortage of fund. So we should know about that. So we need for our schools, each school to have their endowment. Another challenge about the masajid, of course, to preserve the deen. We need the masajid, we need for each masjid his own endowment. So in that case, the masajid can do their work and their responsibilities and serve our kids. Because now the masajid or the imams in the masajid, the top of their responsibility in the masajid to raise fund. And the evaluation of the imam, not on his knowledge, how his ability to raise fund. And this is not joke, this has happened. The chairman of the board of one of the masajid called the secretary of the masjid and asked him about how many we raised after Jummah. He told them this amount, and it was a very low amount. He said, how? The khutbah was good. It means, khutbah, it was good. Why this money is like this? So this is the main responsibility of any imam now. But the imam has to be the youth monitors, has to raise our kids spiritually, religion, educationally. This is his responsibilities, but this is not what he work now. He work in anything but his main job. I think if the masajid has enough waqf, the can masjid do his work. Now, last 3 days, there is a propaganda in TikTok or social medias in general, in New York and New Jersey, about they compare, there's this comparison between masajid and the churches. Which one masajid or churches who help the people financially in everything. And they end up with churches. Because masajid is very weak, they don't have anything, they collect money, nobody knows. And I think this is the lack of experience of masajid to get fund to help the people. I think the masajid and schools to preserve the deen of our kids, they need waqf. Okay? There is قاعدة شرعية هنا. ما لم يتم الواجب إلا به فهو واجب. طيب. Preserving our deen, obligation or optional? It means waqf has to be obligatory. Yes. So we have to look at this in this like that, not as something like sunnah, recommended. No, it's fard. It's fard to start al-waqf. I think the second challenge is, all of you know about it. We need organization like CARE. I see Brother Nahad here, like CARE, MLFAs. We need, as the growing community, we need 100 of organizations to defend our community. And we need political organizations too, to reserve our place in the American society. This kind of organizations, this is a special organization. It's not only masajid or schools. They need very professional people in these organizations. And I think to get to this level, to get the very professional people and to establish, to build the lobbies, all of this in the American society, I think we cannot do it without Waqf. Right, Brother Nihad? يعني we cannot do it without Waqf, because we need. I have a relationship with some friends from Jewish organization in New York City. This organization work only is not ABAG, it's for New York City only. I don't want to say يعني details because I have very detailed conversation with this guy. You talk about budget millions of dollars, New York City, not New York State. They work within New York City, 5 boroughs, millions of dollars. والله يا إخوة, millions of dollars and that. يعني you need to have a place, good place. And we are a minor, يعني minority. I think we with the يعني exaggeration, I think we are 2%. When you are 2% of the population, it means you need a lot of work. You need a lot of people, professional people, to do your work. So we cannot do it. We cannot do it without Waqf, because volunteering and who has time or not, or this, we cannot work anymore if you wanted to do something serious in American society. يعني I don't want to go more than this because I think I take more than time. But we want to understand the society we live in. The last, I think, statistics by Gallup, they said 51% of the Americans, they don't see a religion is important in their life. Gallup. This is the community we live in. 51%, they don't see religion is something important in their daily life. To see how the challenge our generation had. Okay? They live within the people, they don't see religion is important. This is very important. And I don't know about the accuracy of this percentage, but you can go and search about it. And we should, as the leaders, I think everybody here is a leader, to go and check it. Yani, it's in Pew. Pew is very famous in research. They said that in United States, yani they say they both I see the statistics in Bangladesh it's 0, but in United States, after our youth became adult, 23% no longer with the religion. It's a scared percentage, very scared percentage. It means we are in real and dangerous situation. So we should take it very seriously, very seriously. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will ask us. We bring our kids to this country and we leave them to lose their religion. It's very, very seriously. Now, يعني, how we can do that? يعني, I don't want يعني, to say about a lot of Quran or verses or hadith. All of you, they know a lot of this. But from my experience, if you promote any concept and they lead the people to adopt it, this is very important. I have my experience. I started to يعني, work on the Waqf for my masjid, يعني, to our masjid in New Jersey. The first fundraising for Waqf, يعني, I did it in Ramadan. The result, 0. No one. What's the Waqf Sheikh talk about? As I talk about with the language they don't understand about it. And I understood the problem. I gave after that 7 khutbahs about Waqf only. as Sheikhna mentioned about the history of Waqf, about the kind of Waqf, the types of Waqf, the importance of Waqf. Believe me, brothers and sisters, the next Ramadan, and between Ramadan and Ramadan, I did this khutabs. The first Ramadan comes after my khutabs. I raised $100,000 in one fundraising in the night of Ramadan for Waqf, but after education. So we need to educate our people about the importance of the Waqf and to promote the culture and lead them to adopt it, to take it. It's very serious like you, to understand. Now, in my masjid, if you ask the people in my masjid, what do you want to donate? To the masjid operation or to the Waqf? 90% of them, they will donate to the Waqf. I told them and educated them, it's good for you here and hereafter to donate to the Waqf. So alhamdulillah, we have Waqf in our masjid by education. So we need education. We need to educate our people. And all imams, they have to start to educate their people, lectures, khutabs, seminars. We have here expertise in Waqf. We can come together. We have like guidelines, manifest, something like that for our masajid. We have a lot of masajid. They don't know how they can have Waqf, establish the Waqf. We give them these guidelines and we send it to them. We do workshops. We do what we can do until we spread the word of Waqf in our community. I read a book. I read it in Arabic. He's non-Arab who wrote this book. He called At-Tujjar wal-Iman, Merchants and Belief. But do you know what he mentioned? He said the Muslims, for short time, after the Muslim civilization started, after short time, they control the all seas in merchants. يعني in التجارة العالمية. They control. And he said, these people, they have no idea about even to go to the sea. Do you know what he observed? Even I'm an imam, I didn't notice it. And I memorized Quran from I was young. Because in Al-Azhar University, you cannot graduate from Al-Azhar until you memorize the whole Quran. But it's amazed from him to notice this. He said, because from the beginning in the Quran, even in Meccan Quran, Al-Quran mentioned al-sufun, the ships, and there are many verses. يعني most of you that memorize Surah Al-Rahman. مرج البحرين يلتقيان بينهما برزخ لا يبغي يخرج منهما اللؤلؤ والمرجان وله الجوار المنشآت في البحر كالأعلام هو الذي سخر لكم البحر لتستخرجوا منه حلية تلبسون وتأكلوا منه لحما طريا وترى الفلك مواخر فيه ولتبتغوا من فضله. يقول this author, he said, this mention of these verses in the Quran give them the idea about the importance of the seas and the oceans, of course. So from this, the idea comes. So now, if I take the lesson from this guy, it means don't look to the lecture or khutbah in Waqf. It's easy. No, you build the awareness of the people, they can look at it. This is very important thing. We need to promote and I think we should at the community, if like conference like this, in another time or any time, to have our strategic plan for our community. We cannot go like this. At-tawakkul, no more. We cannot work, no more tawakkul. We should tawakkul, yes. But tawakkul, it means to have a good plan and good means. And we know after 5 years, like if we say about endowment, after 20 years, what we want to be as a community in Waqf after 20 years. Our Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam is a strategic person. He's not only as he's a prophet, ودعاءه of course يعني no doubt Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala يعني answered him, but he always put the plan for long time. If I go in this way to explain how the prophet always the prophet has a plan, you will amazed about him, how he was thinking about the future of Muslim. So we want as a community to stop most of our work in America, it's reaction. We have to stop this. We should go with the strategic thinking and the strategic plan, and we know as the community at large in the United States where we want to be in after 20 years or 30 years. If we don't do that, don't blame others. No one will come to you, non-Muslim, you are very cute person, Islam is very good, and we willing to help you. No one will do that for you. ماشي؟ عندنا المثل يقول ما حاك جلدك مثل ايه؟ ما في حد هيجي يهرش لك يعني. بلاش ترجمها دي. ماشي؟ طيب the importance is very important. شيخنا he mentioned the history of endowment. But let me to say this about النظامية. شيخنا mentioned النظامية, مدرسة النظامية. I want to just بس on the only thing I can add to شيخنا إن شاء الله أن النظامية at that time faced الباطنية. الحشاشون they destroyed they spread the confusion of عقيدة among the Muslim at that time. Who faced them and defeated them? النظامية. Not only الغزالي. Sheikh al-Ghazali, yes, but not only al-Ghazali. النظامية as a school. You faced. This is to give you the importance of that. Al-Azhar. Now you talk about more than 1,000 years. I'm proud of my university, of course, but this is the facts. Al-Azhar opened his doors for Muslims from all countries, in Africa, in Asia, and everywhere. I have a lot of my classmates from Malaysia and Indonesia, and they always come to Al-Azhar free. There is no tuition, food free, dorming free, everything free from the endowment of Al-Azhar. As Sheikhna said, yes, it's the huge billions of dollars. It was for until Abdul Nasser regime. He stole the Awqaf Al-Azhar, and he split Al-Awqaf from Al-Azhar itself, and he has the ministry of Al-Awqaf, and he stole the Al-Awqaf. Before Abdul Nasser regime, Al-Azhar was fully independent. And he found that I was in Senegal 2 months ago. I met with 10 scholars. All of them, they graduated from Al-Azhar. And they told me, we graduated from Al-Azhar with $0 or zero money. They fold scholarship and everything. So we need to solve the problem in our schools by there is fund, we have financial aid, scholarship, and all of this for the parents that they can afford it. And this is the way. If we go to the right way, it means we write our birth certificate. If we don't, we write by our hands our death certificate. I don't want to go this way. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala أدعو الله سبحانه وتعالى أن يبصرنا جميعا بالحق وأن يرنا الحق حقا وارزقنا اتباعه وأن يرنا الباطل باطلا وارزقنا اجتنابه وأن يحفظ علينا أبناءنا، وأن يحفظ عليهم دينهم، وأن يحفظ مؤسساتنا، وأن يحفظ قادتنا، وأن يجعلنا دائما في خدمة دينه وعباده. بارك الله فيكم وجزاكم الله خيرا.